So, like many classic car owners, I have a bit of an irrational fear of the MOT. So, you saw in the last video that I spent some time changing the rear brakes because I thought that was something that was going to be a bit of a problem. So, all the rear brakes are changed now, so it was all ready to go to the MOT centre. So I thought there might be a chance of something going wrong and something not working out, but I didn't really expect it to be something quite as unusual as what actually happened. It actually failed on the emissions regulations, which I hadn't seen coming at all. Everything else, I thought it might be something mechanical that would happen, but it turned out emissions were the problem. So after it failing, there was a bit of back and forth between myself and the quick fit centre that tested it, because it's an S2, it has to have a catalytic converter. But it's at a weird time in sort of 1995 where there was a bit of a changeover between what the regulations were between a non-cat version and a cat version. And because this, with the Lotus, it was kind of in between when they changed the regulation. So even though it had a cat, it looked as though it might get away with a non-cat test. But it didn't. There was a caveat in the regulations that mentioned the list of cars that still had to pass the more stringent regulation, even though it was a bit before the time when the new regulation came in. And unfortunately, the Lotus Elan S2 was listed in those regulations, so it needed to pass the more stringent emissions test, which is partly the reason that it failed. Something else that I had noticed since I'd owned the vehicle as well was that it did smell quite a lot of fuel, so it was always like it was over fueling, like the choke was on in an older fashioned car. So that was something to look at. For some reason the car was over fueling, so I need to do a little bit of investigation. So I had a look on the wiki, wikilec.com website for a few kind of pointers and some of the Facebook groups for the Lotus Elan as well. And the most simple thing I thought is probably it's going to be the thermostat. So I thought I'll take the thermostat down because, as you can see in these photos, it's fairly easy to get to. So if I take that apart, I can have a look at the thermostat and see if there's any problems with that leaking, or obviously not, letting the coolant through so it's not getting up to temperature, so it's over fueling. And as you can see in the pictures, the thermostat was in terrible condition. It looked like a pork pie or a sort of wobbly edge there. So it's obvious the coolant was getting through. It wasn't doing the job that it needed to. So that was going to be an easy swap. The part was really easy to find as well. I just got it from Euro Car Parts. I think it was about £3.50. So I swapped that out, put that in, and then ran the car, and I could still smell fuel. There was no real reason, no way that I could actually check the emissions because I haven't got that equipment. It's really expensive equipment that only garages check. So it was going to have to be change that and go down to the test centre and see if it would work or not. So I thought, well, maybe it's a good idea to have a look around at other things that might need changing. So another thing that came up on the wikilec.com site was possibly the coolant temperature sensor. So I thought that might be the next thing to have a look at. So it's in a little bit of an inaccessible place and sort of next to the engine block. There's some pipe work over the top, as you can see here in these photos. But in the end, once that was out the way, it was fairly easy to get out. And boy, did it come out. It just split in half. It was already split. The top part, as you can see in these pictures, was separated from the bottom part. There was loads of corrosion in there. So it's obvious the coolant temperature sensor hadn't been working for quite a long time. So I did a bit of trawling around, looking on SJ sports cars to see how much this particular Lotus part was. It was quite expensive for what it was, really. It was about £70 or £80. So I thought, well, I'll do a bit more investigation with the help of Wikilec, whatever you call it. And it sort of came up in there that it matched with a Pontiac Ferrero, it matched with an Isuzu Trooper and a few other Vauxhall cars as well, because it's basically a GM part. So I kind of thought, well, I'll match the numbers across on some things that were for sale on eBay, and I ended up finding one for about £15 shipped. So that was a bit of a result. As you can see, it went back in quite easily, started the car up, and it ran fine, and I couldn't smell excessive fuel at the exhaust, which I thought, that seems like a pretty good sign. So put it all back together, drove it down to the local quick fit centre, and it passed straight away. So it's passed, it's got its full MOT. The guy at the test centre said there was virtually nothing coming out of the exhaust, which I thought was nice of him. So he was really pleased as well that it passed, because he didn't want to see a classic car off the road for kind of a problem that couldn't be fathomed out. So the Lotus is back on the road and ready to go. So I'll be doing some more videos as things go on. Hopefully there won't be too many more things going wrong, but I'll be taking it to some shows and pretty much enjoying it during the course of the summer. So hopefully you'll find that interesting. Following how things go with the Lotus, please like and subscribe on the channel. Thanks very much for watching.